Hey everyone, I figure it's about time that I go ahead and talk a little bit about my journey into the way that I'm eating now, which is very, very different than what I've been doing basically all my life. I was trying to find the right time to record this video because I'm always on the road, always moving, which is actually a kind of a miracle in itself that I can get to later. But that said, today marks the 333rd day, so that's day number 333, since I've eaten only meat and drank water for any and every meal, and that has drastically changed my life. It's changed my brain function. It's changed a lot of things in my biology, in my body, and all so much so for the better. I would also love to be able to sit down maybe at some point and just kind of go through these details, but again, I'm on the road on my way to teaching a guitar lesson, actually. But that said, I wanted to go through this and start making videos about this because really predominantly for family and friends. Maybe this will become a bigger thing, who knows. But I want to be able to answer questions that you might have about the way that I'm eating, why I chose this path, what I've tried so far, what's worked for me, what hasn't worked, and my understanding as to why certain things are working versus not working. I try not to be, overly judgmental in one way or the other, but I do want to make sure that anyone who is interested in what it is that I'm doing, or learning about eating this way, which is a carnivore lifestyle, that you get all the information that I could possibly give you regarding the topic, and then of course you can reach out to me through phone call, text message, DM, comments, you name it. So why would I go only meat for 333 days? Well, I'm not stopping here, but there are a number of motivations that I've had for doing this. Number one, I've had back pain, permanent spinal injury, and permanent nerve damage since I was 17 years old, involved in a car accident. I've lost many jobs due to having to be stuck at home in severe pain over time. So my resume is pretty big until we come to recent years. Sorry about the shaking. Again, I'm driving and I don't want to stare at the phone. But that was one motivation. Number one, I was looking for ways to not have to take medications every single day just to deal with the pain and be able to move. Just like a normal human being, gets up in the morning and walks around. I couldn't do that. It took a lot of effort every single day, a lot of pain, a lot of time just to sit up in the bed, let alone stand up from the bed, let alone put my socks on, put any clothes on. It's a process, a painful, horrible process for over 2 decades of my life. So I was looking for a way to not have to take those medications, because you take the medications and quite frankly, to be high every day, some people see that as, oh, I wish I was, but no, when you're looking at being high every day for decades, it's an awful experience, especially if that's the only way that you can get around and move around in life. I didn't want that. Not to mention, these pharmaceutical medications will get into your systems, will start to degrade your internal organs. And I was looking at, well, okay, so if I live to 80, 90 years old, what are my insides going to look like? How are my organs going to be able to function with this, years and years of systemic abuse, essentially, to my internal organs through use of pharmaceutical medications? So I was looking for a way out of that. All right. I also developed over time a gastrointestinal gastrointestinal issues, including stomach paralysis. So that means that a part of my digestive system was not moving. I actually, they had me swallow a pill camera. For those of you who have not experienced that, basically it is this camera that is probably a little smaller than this. I wish I was exaggerating, but no, it was like that big. It looked like a mini submarine. Reminded me of that 1980s movie Inner Space. But yeah, so I had to swallow the pill camera so that they can track the movement, see where things were going, see what my digestive process was, to see where things might have been falling behind. And as it turns out, they lost the camera. I lost the camera, they lost the camera, I don't know. Basically, the camera took so long to get through my digestive system that, its own internal battery source just stopped working. I never saw it come out, so I don't know. So stomach paralysis issues, which was also, it was causing me to be hungry and starving and completely full at the same time, because any food I was able to get down and keep down just kind of stayed there, but at the same time my body needed nutrition. So my body wanted more and more nutrition, which I couldn't provide it because I was stuffed and I was having a hard time eating. This cycle led to severe pain, and just really, I was bedridden for months as a result of this. Only kind of getting up to go to the bathroom. That's it. Quite frankly, I felt like I was dying. I don't know how somebody could survive long term in a situation like that, because if you can't take in food, I mean, you can only go so long with that kind of situation. And so the third motivation. All right, so first motivation for changing the way that I eat was the severe back pain for 20 years, a little over 20 years. The second motivation was the internal intestinal issues. Third motivation, just kind of weight loss. Say, okay, well, those of you who know me for years and, oh, Marcus, you never really had a weight issue. Well, I always wore baggy clothing. I always looked like, a skinny fat kind of a thing, where I presented myself as kind of being, thin and fit and able to move around, where my weight was just building up and gaining, even if I wasn't able to eat much, which now I understand why that happens, but at the time I didn't know enough, so I didn't know how you could gain weight without eating much. Now I do, which I'll share maybe in a future video. But understand the situations happening here, all this collectively. When I would gain weight, what would happen is that weight then, number one, pulls on my digestive system, which exacerbated the problem that I was dealing with the stomach paralysis and everything. But it also pulled down on my spine. So this excess weight, which I lost, by the way, 57 pounds in less than a year on carnivore eating. So now I'm running around. I'm going to the gym when I have time. I'm doing an average 80 plus push-ups a day. This is stuff that was unheard of just 1 year ago. I wouldn't be able to do this. I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't put my socks on just a year ago. And now I'm doing all this and more. My flexibility has improved. Anyway, where was I? Right, so all the excess weight, 57, that's nearly 60 pounds extra pulling down on a permanently damaged spine. That hurt. I needed a way out of that. So what did I do? I decided to look up how to reduce inflammation in the body. Now, I've always understood inflammation to be essentially like you take a Tylenol or ibuprofen. It's anti-inflammatory. That just means that there's some tissues that are inflamed. So maybe that's my thinking, is maybe that's messing with my nerves, because inflamed tissue, the nerves go kind of through the body's tissues, and just my skin being inflamed, I guess, underneath, however that works, was messing with the nerves, which was leaning on them and causing pain. I've since learned that inflammation is a much deeper topic than that, but I was kind of on the right track. That said, I didn't want to take these painkillers every day. I didn't want to take, in addition to Back Aid, which it's a over-the-counter product that really helped me. I didn't want to take all these medications. By the way, by the end of last year, well, not this past year, but the year before that, I was on 7 separate medications that I was taking 3 times a day just to manage all these symptoms. And today, just so you know, I'm on zero medications, and all of these problems and all of these issues reversed. I still get a little back pain from time to time with the weather changes, extreme temperatures, that sort of thing, but it's nowhere near what it was just a year ago. So when I jumped into this, I didn't jump into the idea of eating carnivore. Number one, I didn't do it right away. Right? Number two, I didn't do it with the intention of this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life or anything like that. Basically, I saw, as I was doing research into, ketogenic, keto eating, which I did for a little bit, that helped with some weight loss. I was still dealing with some other issues and things like that. I didn't know about oxalates or, plant toxins and things. But as I studied the actual studies on keto and the more extreme on carnivore, and now, by the way, there are lots of studies on this way of eating, I thought, you know what? The studies are showing things and results, and the kind of positive results that I want to see in my life. So what do I need to do to make that happen? And I started looking through, YouTube videos and things like that, and seeing all these positive benefits that other people are having. Maybe they're blowing smoke. Maybe it's legit. I don't know. All I know is I'm in severe pain, and I can barely move from my spine, from my intestines, from everything. I feel like I'm going to die, and that's not a stretch of the imagination. I really felt like I was going to die. I just didn't want to scare, my wife or family with the idea that I was, thinking that. Not that I was like trying to end things myself or anything like that. Just I felt like, my health was such that I didn't know how much longer that I was going to be able to last. So, out of desperation, I said, okay, let me give this a 30-day trial. What's the worst that can happen? I can't eat anything. I whatever I eat, it's not going down. Just nothing is working. Worst case is my end comes sooner than later, which is horrible, but I felt like things were going that way anyway, legitimately. So, week 1 started with some meat, some red meat. Started eating that. Then something happened. Basically, the first couple of days of doing this, I thought it was a placebo effect. It's like, okay, so I'm eating, I feel better, but am I feeling better because I've been watching YouTube videos and other people are saying they have some, great results and things like that? Or am I feeling better because I'm actually somehow getting better? Well, day 3 comes, day 4 comes, all of a sudden I'm sleeping better. All of a sudden things are internally working better. All of a sudden I'm gaining energy. So, okay, this seems to be a little bit more than a placebo. All right, week 1 goes through. By the end of week 2, I was up, I was moving around. Second week, after 20 years, over 20 years of not being able to put my socks on, without this whole drawn out 10-minute process to do so, and that's not an exaggeration, I was putting my socks on in less than 2 minutes. Second week into Carnivore. Second week into Carnivore, I was able to move around. I was able to get around. I didn't have any of those symptoms anymore of the stomach paralysis. By the way, I have other conditions that reverse as well. I'll get into later on. That's just the second week. And I said, okay, well, I committed to a full month of this. By the third week, I just felt absolutely superhuman. I kid you not. I started being able to do things that I have not been able to do since I was 16 years old before this car accident. Third week into eating only meat. That just blew me away. It actually made me cry. I legitimately spent some time crying because just tears of joy, knowing that I could finally spend legitimate time with my family without having to think about all the pain I was in. All the time, every moment of every day, that I'd be able to laugh and run and play with my kids, that they wouldn't be growing up without an active dad in their lives. I mean, I was there physically, technically I was there, but I wasn't able to run around with my kids. I wasn't able to play with them in any kind of significant way. I was just in bed all the time. Anyway, I'm 333 days into eating only meat. It has radically changed my life. Everything from physical pain to no more brain fog. That's the other thing that happened a week 2, actually, like the second weekend. No more brain fog. I was on all these medications. I was in pain all the time. I had a really hard time thinking straight. Things looked like I had things all together. Trust me, I did not, because I couldn't think. I would have a thought and it would get kind of lost, and just I had to fight every minute of every day to try and keep my thoughts together for over 20 years. All that brain fog is gone. Mental clarity completely coming in. I'm taking courses while I'm working full time, while I'm running a guitar teaching business, and all this, and I'm not even stressed out about it. I enjoy it every single day. Matter of fact, I'm in the car right now recording this video because I was on my way. I have a guitar lesson starting in about 10 minutes, and just I love being able to be active. And this is something that I couldn't have even dreamed of a year ago. So 333 days into the carnivore diet changed my life. Started off with a 30-day challenge. After the 30 days, I said, why on earth wouldn't I continue this? Why would I even attempt to go back to the way that I was eating before, which was leading to all those problems that I had before? It didn't lead to the back pain, but why would I eat in a way that's going to create and cause additional inflammation that will lead to pain, that will lead to suffering? I'm tired of that. I lived over 20 years with pain and suffering. I don't want it anymore. I'm not experiencing that now, thanks to eating this way. So if you have any questions, just go ahead, ask them. I'm happy to answer them. If you wind up seeing this video and you want to toss a comment on the video to learn more, great. If you want to send me a message, you can, and either I'll answer in the comments or I'll make another video about your question. I have more videos and more things to come, but I figured it's about time I started sharing all this with someone. Anyway, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, no matter how small or big this channel is when you see it. Every little bit counts. You count. You matter. I don't want you to suffer either. Have a great day.